Well, good evening. I want to start by just thanking you for coming and being a part of this very unique and very special service. We do this on the longest night of the year. It's also known as the winter solstice. It is technically a day in which the sun stands still. It's a time in which there seems to be more night and more darkness than there is light. And so Christians gather on this night because that is how a lot of us feel a lot of the time, that there seems to be more bad than good, more darkness, more grief than sorrow than joy and happiness. And especially during the Advent Christmas season, we struggle, some of us, with feeling like we should be more joyful, more happy, more celebratory than we really are. And so on this night, we stop and we gather together and look for a time of peace and comfort in the midst of grief and sorrow. It is a time for us to look for light in the midst of the darkness that so often creeps its way into our life. It's not a service that tries to minimize or to make the darkness go away. It's a time that we acknowledge it and we remember that Christ is the light amidst the darkness. So, a couple of things right off the bat. We want to make sure, we're glad that you're here tonight. We want to make sure that you know about all the coming up, the services that are coming up after this one. Of course, there will be our Christmas Eve service, which is always a very wonderful, very special night of worship. Is a candlelight and communion service. There will be music and there will be singing. And so we hope that you will come and join us for that. This year it is different because we will be gathering at 4 o'clock instead of normally we gather at 6. So please make a note of the time change. We will be coming, gathering for that service a good bit earlier, but that gives you more time to be with your family, which is very important, especially this year. Then Christmas morning, the very next morning at 10 a.m., we will gather for worship here in the sanctuary for one service. That service is literally, should be held in your mind with a couple key words. It is going to be a casual, caroling Christmas celebration. And so come dressed casually. Kids, encourage kids and grandkids to come wearing PJs. We'll be doing a lot of caroling, a lot of singing. There will be no preaching. There will be the message of Christmas will be proclaimed. We'll read the story. We'll talk about the story. You will leave inspired, but there will be no preaching. The service start to finish should be about 35 to 40 minutes. And so we're not going to be up here long, but we do want to gather and celebrate the birth of Christ. And so one of the things that I already know is that some of you have got family obligations that morning, that day, and some of you may be thinking about and worrying about how do I get lunch on the table, how do I get ready for this thing. If you've got 35 minutes, I encourage you to come and gather